Hey, everybody. Welcome to our fireside chat. My name is Ryan Treasure. I'm the VP of Operations. And yes, I know that my name has an uppercase P and it shouldn't. So please don't make fun of me. I'm going to fix it in just a second. But anyways, welcome to this fantastic fireside chat. March has been such an amazing month for women's history. And of course, we had, March 8th was National Women's Day. So celebrating all of our wonderful hosts on the network, female hosts that are trailblazers and leaders in the community. It's just amazing the sheer number of awesome human beings that we have on the network. We talked today about leadership and business, conservation, spirituality, fitness. We're proud to highlight our hosts across the channels of the network. And I want to open this up with a quote that I put in the description, and it really resonated with me, right? And it says, "Women belong in all places where decisions are being made. It shouldn't be that women are the exception." And I really feel that way, because I think inclusion is the most important thing, because we're all one race of human beings, and it's important that, everybody gets treated the same. And that quote was by none other than, God rest her soul, Ruth Bader Ginsburg. So, as we start the show today, we have some fantastic human beings that we're going to be speaking with today, and I got to bring in my co-hosts, right? Because these folks are my road dogs, absolutely. First and foremost, I'm going to bring on Sandra Rogers, network director of Voice America, executive producer extraordinaire. Sandra, how you doing?
Hey, Ryan, I'm well. How are you doing?
I'm wonderful. Thanks for asking.
And I know today's Friday this week, so that's a good thing. But I'm excited about today's. Yes, Friday. And I'm excited about today's show. We actually have 4 wonderful women who we're going to be speaking with here shortly. And I do also want to, acknowledge that this is Women's History Month. And so this is our series. We've done a series of interviews with some of our hosts. And I want to mention some of the names: Joyce Bender and Patricia Raskin, Christina Silva, and Simran Singh and Dr. Connie Moriano have all graced us with their presence on this wonderful program. And they are true trailblazers. They are true thought leaders and passionate women who really have gone through doors that have been opened and continue to knock and make inroads into places where we can definitely be who we are and be true to ourselves and speak to our strengths. So I'm thrilled about today's show and the host that we have that will be joining us shortly. I also know that, and I was still this Ryan, because Robert Cellino is going to be part of the show today as well. And he's a super wonderful executive producer here with Voice America. And 3 of the 4 hosts that we have here as guests are working directly with Robert Cellino. And so he is just a wonderful human being. And thank you so much, Robert, for being here. And I am excited to watch this exchange between yourself and the host that you work with here as well.
Dude, bro, I got to say, I hate 2020 for one reason more than any other reason. And it's because I don't get to go travel places with Robert.
Oh, yeah, I know. I miss that so much too.
We used to go do so many fun things out and about, LA, Florida, Vegas, wherever it was,
Voice related thing, Voice America related.
Hollywood,
live broadcast, doing all of those fun things. And man, 2020 stripped that away from us, man. Robert and I have a great relationship. Sandra and I have a great relationship. And, what a pleasure it is to work with both of you for so many years.
Right on, Ryan.
It's amazing.
I feel the same exact way. It's a mutual admiration society here for me. And this is not vodka, by the way. This is just water. So. It is cocktail hour, though, somewhere, right? It's happy hour.
Oh, it's 3:36 Arizona. Yeah. So it's definitely happy hour,
it's
right?
Happy hour somewhere.
3 to 6 or something like that. So
right
there may be a libation or 2 on the show. I'm not sure. It doesn't matter. But just the fact that we're all able to gather together as a group and really have a nice conversation about Women's History Month, because it really is important to highlight women. Like I said in one of the other broadcasts, like I should never have to walk up to someone and be like, "Hey, this is a woman and she's so awesome."
Yeah.
Right? Like awesome human beings just exude awesomeness from who they are, who their aura is. And it's not necessary for a man or a woman to give someone, some status or whatever, right? Like you just know, like Sandra, I'll give you're a perfect example. When you and I are talking to people, like I don't have to be like Sandra, the executive producer extraordinaire, great, strong woman. Like I say that because I love you, but at the same time, like as soon as you open your mouth, people know.
Yeah, I mean that, but unfortunately, the reality is that we're cast as a gender of a gender of women who are limited, and people look at us that way. We're treated that way, and you have to blaze that trail and dispel that. Right. And that's what we're doing now. It is unfortunate that it still is that reality. But the more that we step into our truth and our light and claim our presence, then, we shift that reality. And that's what we're about now. And I think, and having a Women's History Month gives us that opportunity to reflect on these trailblazers, these women who were out there in the forefront. Claiming positions and not backing down and not being moved by a no, persevering and getting through that and coming through whole and passionate on the other side. So it is unfortunate that it's the reality, but our reality is we're not taking it anymore. We're moving forward, and this is who we are, and we're not going anywhere. And I could put a "God-damn it" behind that too! Exclamation!
Hey, I got to say something too. Bill Biss is on again. He's already sending us messages.
Hey, Bill.
Bill.
He said, "Holla, you got to go for the flow."
Holla. Yeah, there you go.
That's awesome. Hey,
Bill is our resident follower. He always comes here. And he's always great. So Bill, thank you for joining us and always giving us your input, and we love having you on. Let's move right along with this program. Want to bring on our first guest.
Yeah.
Jody Harrison Bauer. What an amazing person. She's a 2-time world bikini champion, founder and owner of Jody Fit Boutique Fitness Studio, host of Fearlessly Authentic podcast and radio show on Voice America. And she's just absolutely an amazing human being. If you guys get a chance to follow her on TikTok, she does the dopest TikTok videos, right? Where she shows you the exercises and the different things that you can do without having to have weights and dumbbells and all these kinds of things. And for me as a martial artist, that's how I work out. Right. I get up in the morning and I do push-ups and I do sit-ups and I do planks and I do squats, and I have stairs at my house. So I run up and down the stairs and do funky stuff. And go check out her videos on TikTok, because she's definitely out there, kind of coaching and teaching other people different ways that they can, lift up their spirit, lift up their strength, all of those different things. And she talks about it. And it's not just about the physical, it's also about the mental. And that's what I love about Jody, because she is always talking about those two pieces. So I want to welcome Jody Harrison Bauer to the show.
Thank you so much for inviting me to this fireside chat.
Oh, we really appreciate you.
Hey, Jody.
Hey, Sandra.
Yeah. Well.
Hey, Robert.
Hey, Jody. Welcome to Fireside Friday.
Thank you.
Friday. So Jody, take a few minutes and number one, tell the audience who you are. Tell the audience what you're about, right? Because people don't understand like the message really. I don't think that you're putting out there, because you are in your prime of your life, so to speak, and a younger human being doesn't get it sometimes, right? And you help people to understand that mentality, that positivity, that always moving forward message. And then, tell people about your radio show and all the fun that you have on the radio show. And just take a couple of minutes to tell us all about you.
Sure. Well, thank you for the introduction. You pretty much nailed everything that I'm about, except for the fact that I am the mother of 2 grown children, and I do have um, a fairly new husband, and I have a rescue dog. And, my message that I really want to get out there through my radio show, through TikTok, Instagram, and so on, is that age is an attitude, and that we only have this one life to live. And it does start with a mindset, because your body will follow what your mind tells it to do. So everything in life, everything we start with starts with having a positive mindset. Being strong in your mind is going to give you a strong body. And I've gone through some tough times in my life. My life changed when I got divorced at 42. I'm 60 years old now, and I wouldn't have had the strength to do a lot of the things that I did if I didn't work on my mind and body. And that's really what my show is about. Yes, I'm a fitness and nutrition expert. And yes, I've taken a lot of risks, starting with competing in my late 40s and then becoming a 2-time world bikini champion, and competing for 10 years, and then trying out for a spot in Sports Illustrated Swim at the age of 58, and making global news by doing that, and showing women of every age that it's never too late to start something new, and that age does not define who we are at any stage in our life. So whether you're my age, you're 60, or you're 30, or you're 20, that you could do anything that you want. And if it's fear that's stopping you, then everything on the other side of fear is waiting for you. Trust me, I know. I am a self-proclaimed scaredy cat. And as I mentioned, at the age of 42, I finally decided to get divorced. And that was the biggest decision of my life. And everything in my life has just been amazing. I mean, it's been the best part of my life. When I think about, I said I'm 60, but I actually feel that my life started at 42. So that would make me only 20 right now. Or 22.
You said something
teenager.
Right. You said something that really struck a chord with me that I've said in previous broadcasts. And the coach of the Phoenix Suns, Monty Williams. I'm in Arizona. I'm a Phoenix Suns fan. But when he came over here, he did a press conference. His wife died. He had all this crazy stuff going on in his life. And one of the things that he said that always struck a chord with me was the fact that he said everything you want is on the other side of hard. Right. And so if you don't get past hard, you're not going to get to the things that you want. You have to fail up. Right. It's kind of like you have to fail up.
You have to fail. And it's like, and if you don't mind me interrupting, in training, and I'm not a bodybuilder. I was a bikini competitor, but I still had that mentality of maybe what a lot of people might think is a bodybuilder mentality, that when you're working out, you need that last rep. You have to go to failure in order to succeed. You need to fail to succeed. So anything that you've done, you've experienced some failure, but that's taken you to the next level. And that's life. That is life. So, working out, having that mindset, that's all a guide to help you through life. Again, I probably wouldn't have gotten through a lot of the time. I did not know how strong I was until I was in the situations. And that's the reason I named the show Fearlessly Authentic, because my goal for the people listening, for myself, is to live a fearlessly authentic life. So in the show, my guests and I educate, empower, and inspire so people can go on to live fearlessly authentic lives.
Yes.
Yes, that's so. Jody, I have absolutely loved working with you to date. It has been, well, I have an amazing mentor that is an amazing woman who helps push people to where they really should be going. I think that I have grown. I love the fact that I've grown through working with you as well.
Thank you. Thank you.
You're
You're going to make
very
me
welcome.
cry. That I've loved working with you too. You've really pushed me. You've been there for me. And, I was so scared. And I can't believe we're coming on a year in May that it will be my first show that I started. And I feel like I've grown leaps and bounds because you were there to catch me when I felt like I was falling. You say, you're going to make me cry, but I'm not going to cry. Okay.
I've enjoyed every minute of
Here's
that.
what I want to say also is that fearlessness that you have. So I would think, Jody, when you started wanting to be in these competitions at that age, what had you heard before that you decided that stopped you from doing it earlier? Had you decided, were you struggling at that point? What was the thing that took you over the top and said, look, this is it. I am who I am, and I am going to do this. What broke free for you?
That's a really good question. That was a bit of a pivotal time in my life too. I remember specifically, I was 35. My youngest daughter was 2, and my oldest was 6.
Mm.
And I was working out all the time. I've always been working out, but once I hit my 30s, I was really crushing it. And I said to my then husband, I want to compete in fitness shows because I was approached many, many times, about my body symmetry and so on. And he said, no wife of mine, quote, no wife of mine is ever getting on stage and competing in stripper heels and a bikini. And I thought, well, we're just going to have to change something. And it took me the next 5 years.
You predicted that. No wife of mine. Well, okay.
Yes. And I said it took me 5 years to get the courage to start the leaving process.
Mm-hmm.
So for anybody listening who's thinking about leaving because you can't be yourself in your marriage, I know it's hard, but your children and you will be better off for it because you need to be yourself. Otherwise, and that was another situation for me, is that I wanted to be the best role model for my daughters as a woman to raising daughters.
Well, amen to you for that, Jody.
I think that's a lot of people's fears who are married and they're not living their, symmetry properly, and they're not, they're not
your
the
authentic self,
Yeah, they're not the yin and the yang. I mean, I feel like that's how a marriage should be. That's why I love my wife very much, because I'm a certain way and she's a certain way. And even though, she has stuff to work on and I always have stuff to work on, we still are the yin and the yang. I'm the outspoken, big, loud guy, and she's the quiet other, person. And so that meshes well with us. But I think a lot of times people get scared about what's going to happen to my 10-year-old child if we get a divorce and splits, and what are they going to feel about us and all that kind of stuff. But I think in the long run, having those proper communications with the children and the family and, going through those motions are the important components of making sure that kind of stuff works. And I know that because I know you and I know how you operate, I know that you handled that like a pro.
It was difficult, but it's better off. It was better off this way. I mean, I've been divorced for almost 20 years, so it was a long time ago, but it still is very resonates with me. And I, wanted to teach them what it was like to be in a healthy relationship or loving yourself, because when I got divorced, I had no idea who I was. I was one of those women who had completely lost myself in my marriage. I stopped working in 1989 when my oldest was born. I didn't know who I was. And it's interesting because now that I'm 60, I woke up the next day after my birthday and I thought, okay, what are we doing? We got a new decade here.
Yeah, right on.
Let's blaze some trails, Sandra. That's
right on, Jody.
Some trails.
I love that.
Bill says, no.
So dated an expression.
Right. Well, he's like still living in the 50s.
Yeah, that's so funny.
Jody Harrison Bauer, thank you for joining us. Don't leave. We're going to keep you in the mix, but I want to bring our next guest.
Thank you so much.
Who's such an amazing person. Marla Goldberg. She's an energy healer, an intuitive, a speaker, teacher, host of guided spirit conversations on Voice America. she began her journey unexpectedly when her life hit rock bottom, and she rebounded, and it was amazing. And to date, Marla's trained like 24 different healing techniques and works with her clients to bring them what they need for happier, healthy, abundant, and more joyful life. And as we're talking about like living your authentic life, Marla is the perfect person to talk about going from down here to up here, living that authentic life. So I want to welcome Marla to the show.
Hello.
All right. Hey, Marla.
Hi, Sandra, Robert, Ryan.
Hello.
Jody, hi.
Hi, Marla.
Welcome, Marla. Welcome.
Thank you. I'm so happy to be here.
Well,
So,
it's great
Marla,
to have you.
You have this wonderful show that you do on Voice America. You've been, doing stuff with the network for quite some time. I know that I think you started back in 2018, and you've created some fantastic radio shows. You've partnered with Zofia Renee Morales and a bunch of different shows that you guys have done together, who's another amazing woman. Just like I told Jody, tell people who you are and what you're about and all about your radio show and, those things that you're trying to get out to the world, because I think your message is very, very strong. You live in a centered area of spirituality that a lot of people don't understand. But I think it's important for people to understand that, because you can't have physical manifestations of what you want unless your spiritual mentality is the way that you need it to be. And I think you're the perfect person to kind of talk about that. So Marla, you have the floor.
Okay. Well, as you said, I'm an energy healer, intuitive, public speaker, teacher, best-selling author. And then I created Guided Spirit Conversations podcast. I think it was, 2018. And I've been with you for a year and a half, which I'm so happy for the switch. And I like to work with people. I consider myself a self-love expert because, listening to Jody's story, I hit rock bottom. I was in a horrible marriage with an abusive alcoholic, and I needed to get out of it. And it took me a while. I had the fear factor. And once I started going down my spiritual path, I got the strength and the insight to know that no matter what happened, that I would definitely be able to, the strength and the insight to persevere and to go forward. And this path of mine just has taught me to love myself, to accept myself, love myself. And I like to share it with other people and allow them through, working with me, to not allow them, but to help them to find their inner self-love. And here's the thing, whatever you do, what you show people, the words you say, the decisions you make are a pure reflection of how you feel about yourself inside. And that was something that I didn't know for a long time. And when I realized that, it gave me the strength to say, no, I'm not portraying that person anymore. I'm going to, start working on loving who I am, so I make the right decisions and I'm able to express myself in that way to others. And that's what I want to help other people do, to learn to forgive, to release their repressed emotions, to finally learn self-acceptance, warts, wrinkles, and all, as I like to say, and then ultimately go into a place of self-love where they do things that honor who they are, and they stop trying to give away their power and to allow others to just sort of siphon their energy.
Yeah. Hey, Marla, and thank you for the work that you're doing. And I have sought people like yourself out myself in situations where I needed that healing and I needed that voice to guide me and to center me. So I'm sure that you're doing that with your program. What I love about our host here at Voice America is that there's this overall theme of humanity that is throughout these programs. And a lot of our hosts have gone through some stuff. and they've had to unpack things. And as we live our lives, we learn more about ourselves. And so that is truly a blessing that somebody like you who've had those super lows and you're able to stand up in the face of all that diversity and adversity and be strong and know who you are. And not just that, Marla and Jody and Jill and Kathy, but want to teach others how to do that too. So God bless you, ladies, for what you're doing, your resilience to stand in your truth and in your light, because it's not easy. You know what I mean? We're thinking about that and reminding ourselves every single day how to get back up and stay vertical. But, we can do it and we accomplish it, right? So thank you for that.
I totally love what you're saying right there, Sandra, because it takes a lot of courage for somebody to step out into the limelight and get in front of everybody
with no issue, having no issue. It's still courage to do that, right? So now pack that on, add the other stuff on there.
You got your other baggage going on. You're still able to jump out there and put out your message and let people know the great things that you guys are doing. It's just a testament to the will that you guys have as human beings and your ability to, step outside of your comfort zone. Like the show that I co-host with Jeff Spinard, Finding Your Frequency, our promo literally says summoning the intestinal fortitude to step out there and do something outside of the norm. When entrepreneurs decide that they want to be an entrepreneur and they want to leave the sanctity or safety of that 9-to-5 job, right? And I always use the term the walking the plank of entrepreneurship, because once you walk off the plank and you hit the water, you're on your own. You got to fight off the sharks. You got to be the CEO, the CFO, the chief.
And a lot of stuff in your head too. You got to fight that off.
And then on top of that, you have your own emotional baggage and your own other stuff that you're dealing with. And the fact that you ladies are able to kind of set all of that stuff aside and bring this to the forefront and bring it to the public in a manner that is so amazing. It's just a testament to the will that all of you have. And I love. This is why I work at Voice America. My story of leaving AM and FM traditional radio had to do with advertisers always driving the narrative of what a host can and cannot say. And the fact that you guys have creative freedom to do whatever you want, however you want to do it, and put it into a space where, we just launch it out there no matter what it is just the best thing on planet Earth. There's no Mark Zuckerbergs over here, right? We're not censoring anybody from saying something, we all live in America, right? The freedom of speech is very important to all of us. And it's not okay for sponsors or advertisers to dictate what you say and how you say it and what your message is, because the reason you have your show, the reason you have your business, the reason you have the things that you have are because these are the things that you feel that are important to you and what you feel are important to society. And the fact that you're able to jump up on the soapbox and be taller than everybody else and shout out to the crowd what your message is just is absolutely freaking amazing.
Yeah. It's
I
passion.
love that, Ryan.
Yeah.
That is an amazing sentiment. And I want to echo what both you and Sandra have said, because this is, the truth that we live in with our host and at Voice America. Also, I want to thank both of you because you get to be vulnerable and authentic in front of people and bring that to the world. And we don't censor that. You get to be yourself and actually speak your passion. And there's not a lot of places you can do that. Also, I want to acknowledge Sandra, because I know we keep saying we have 4 amazing women here, right? I mean, 3 amazing, 4 amazing, 5
no, Robert,
amazing.
You can't take these compliments, so
Right.
you stop right now. I can't
5 amazing women. Thank you, Sandra, because you have been an amazing person.
Not do it, Robert.
Yes, yes.
No,
I mean, it is, from all the things that we've done together, right? From guitars to singing, but we won't go down that road. And Marla?
Yes.
Thank you so much. I have absolutely adored working with you as well. I mean, you and I have done some growing together. We have built shows together. We are, as with everyone I work with, building towards all kinds of new things that are amazing. But also you do things that connect people all over the world as well. The GCDC, your heart lives in that space of wanting to help people. And again, your effing long journey to loving yourself, right? The book title, right? I mean, that's a long
hear
journey.
that. My effing long
People need to know that and get
Mm.
that. But you share that. You're raw, you're vulnerable, and that takes courage. I mean, so kudos to you. And thank you also for being another amazing mentor to me.
Let me just add accountability, because that is key. People say stuff all the time and they don't care. It just sticks and they're good with it. But if you are accountable for what you say, because you know somebody's listening on the other side of that and will take some type of action, that also is huge. And I know that's what comes from both you women. And also Kathy Greenberg and Jill Buck, the accountability, because you're saying something that makes a difference to people and they will take action based on that.
That is something that I have been working so hard on with my 7-year-old daughter is accountability. I have these rules at my house, right? Number one is no whining.
How's that working for you?
When I bring up the rules, it works great.
I used to tell my daughter, "Do you want some cheese with that wine?"
Well, the rules at our house are simple.
I have the guitar. I mean the violin. She was the smallest one.
But seriously, it's no whining, no crying, no temper tantrums. Listen, learn everything, and clean up after yourself. Right. And if you think about those lessons, those are all components of accountability. Now, when I talk about Marla, I know where you're going. When I talk about no crying, I'm not saying it's not okay to feel your emotions. Right. But what I always try to teach her is that you can feel these emotions, but don't let the emotions control you to the point where your emotions control your actions. Right. And it's okay to be emotional. It's okay to feel something, but you have also got to be able to let it go and move on to the next thing and not let that saturate your life and get stuck or bogged down.
It's true. What I was going to say, though, Ryan, was that to remind your daughter to always be curious and to ask questions, because to bring that into the fold, because it brings a more well-roundedness to her growth.
Yeah. Thank you for that.
Thank you for that. Yeah.
Put that in that list.
Yeah.
I will. When we do Finding Your Frequency radio shows, it's almost like every hour is like a mini training session that I get from, whoever I'm interviewing, because I always learn, so many cool things, whether it's, finance, business, entrepreneurship, early childhood development, because Finding Your Frequency, we just talk to everybody about how they found their frequency in life and in business or whatever they're doing. And totally. And my parenting style over the last couple of years since we started the show, my daughter was born in 2013. We started the show in 2016, and my approach towards my children and towards how we do things, there is a direct impact between listening to content from Jody, listening to content from Marla, interviewing my own guests or whatever on the show. But all of those things have all been, things that have made me grow as a human being. And one of the other reasons why I love working at Voice America, because where else can you go and find thought leadership in the manner that we have it, and have it stacked up in a manner where it's all segmentized, it's all put into its proper silos, and you're not lost in a sea of podcasts that are like on Apple iTunes, where there's 1.75 million iTunes shows. Yes, are we on iTunes? Absolutely. But can you get more granular and find more and better information and more quality information on voiceamerica.com? Absolutely. And that's because we have hosts like you guys who are just absolutely amazing, who step out of your comfort zone to get out there and tell the world what your stories are. And I think the world needs more of that. More people need to show their vulnerability and show where they've been and how they've got there, so we can stop with this whole nonsense of, allowing our emotions to control everything that we do. And, if I get too emotional, I'm going to get all upset. I'm going to go stand over here in a corner and I'm going to get all mad, rather than going, no, I'm going to use this emotion to come this way. Right. I think that's very important. I want to bring on our next guest, who's an amazing human being, Jill Buck from Go Green Radio. She graduated from the University of Illinois in 91. She was a commissioned naval officer, Boom, go Navy. I'm a Navy guy. Sorry. You guys know that from episode number 3. While stationed at Fleet Training Center, San Diego, she served as the Legal Physician Security Administration and Command Inspection Officer. Ooh, don't mess with that. As well as damage control instructor. And you know what? She's just trying to save the world. She's just trying to make sure that people don't do silly stuff. So, Jill Buck, thank you so much for being on and welcome to the show.
Thank you, Ryan. It's great to be with you. I was listening to your list of rules there, and it sounds like a Master Chief got a hold of you good. One of these.
Real good. Robert knows about that too. He's an Army.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure you didn't come up with all those rules, Ryan. That sounds like the Senior Master Chief got a hold of you. So
I might have had a conversation with a Master Chief once or twice.
Yeah, it shows. No, it's great to be with you. I'm just kidding you. And thanks for your service, Ryan. It's a pleasure to be with you guys and with all of you. Sandra, Robert, love you guys.
Yes.
Marla and Jody. You guys are amazing. Love you guys.
So, Jill, tell us about Go Green Radio. Tell us about Jill Buck. Tell us about your story and tell us about all the amazing things that you're doing.
Oh, thank you so much. I appreciate the opportunity to talk about Go Green Radio. I was very fortunate to be called up by Jeff Spinard back in 2008 to host a show. And at that time, I was like, I can't, I don't have time. I would love to, but I'm running, and I am still running a nonprofit organization called the Go Green Initiative. You can find us at gogreeninitiative.org. And this is a program that works with schools all over the world. Actually, we have schools in all 50 US states and in 73 countries around the world. And we have had 2 goals from our onset in 2002. And the first one is to conserve natural resources for future generations. And the second goal is to protect children's health from environmental pollutants. And so, though we love spotted owls and polar bears as much as anyone else, we are about children. We are about keeping them safe and them, protected from some of the environmental pollutants out there. And so, Go Green Radio came along at a time when I was expanding the program all over the country, and I was like, "Oh my gosh, how will I ever have time to do a show?" Jeff convinced me to do it, and I guess I got hooked because I've been doing it ever since 2008, and I love it. We have guests on the show that are subject matter experts in things like energy, water, waste, sustainable food supplies, technology that deals with clean energy, protected from the environmental pollutants out there. And so Go Green Radio came along at a time, energy, water, so we do it all. We have guests that are the creme de la creme in thought leadership when it comes to environmental protection and combating climate change. And I love it. And I'm still doing the Go Green Initiative. I founded it when my youngest, who is now 22, was 2 years old. She was still in diapers when I started the Go Green Initiative, and a whole generation later, I'm still working with students. We actually have a summer internship coming up this summer where we're going to talk with students about water conservation and also recycling right. We have a big problem with that in our country. So that's just a little bit of highlight about what I do, why I do it. That's the most important thing. I'm a sucker for children and want to protect them from harm. So that's what I'm all about, Ryan.
Yeah. Hey, Jill, thank you for your work that you do.
Sandra.
And I've admired your work from afar as like to say I'm environmentally conscious, but not as much, I'm sure, as you are. But how important it is, how our environment and the pollutants that are there and the foods and the toxins that we're exposed to on a regular basis, it does affect us. And you start to see this in generations now, all the, some of the illnesses that are happening, health issues that are happening and challenges to that because of the way we eat and the way we're exposed to those things. This must drive you absolutely crazy. So how do you find this balance, Jill? Because, it is prevalent everywhere that you look. There's some abuse, some infraction, something that's going on, and people are denying that this is even happening at the same time. So,
Well, Marla was talking about this too, and the emotion that goes into the work that I do. And it very well could drive me crazy because it can seem an ominous task.
Yes.
But I'm inherently a hopeful person, and I'm a mother of 3, so I have skin in the game. I can't let them down, and I care about their well-being, but I care, I know this probably won't sit well with my own children, but I care about other people's children's well-being as much as I do theirs. And so I can't give up the fight. And every day I meet new people willing to join the fight, willing to join the cause. And that keeps me perpetually hopeful.
That's awesome.
And so I just can't give up. And I will tell you this too, Sandra. One of the things that my organization, the Go Green Initiative, has made a strategic shift toward in the past, 7 years actually, is to focus on working with communities that are either environmental justice communities or food deserts. So we're going into the communities that are most impacted by environmental pollution and degradation, and we're going into communities that lack access to affordable, nutritious food. And the need is great, so we can't give up. And I love my work. I love the people I get to work with. So can't stop, won't stop.
Well, you got the passion there. You have the passion.
That is amazing. Jill, I love what you do. I know from our past conversations, we are very congruent in our belief systems in these spaces. And it just really, I want to get up on the soapbox with you. when things start to open up again, I want to get out there and in space with you. But I really admire the fact that you get out there and roll up your sleeves and get involved. Yeah. Right. It's
Robert, can I travel with you? Can I go with you?
Yeah, of course. Well, we have to go together. We're a team, right? Out there when we get on the road again, hopefully sooner than later.
That's right.
And also, I mean, you get out there and roll up your sleeves. You march the steps at Washington. You get out and you live your speak and walk your talk. And it's not just from a distance. It's in the mix as well. And I admire you greatly for that. So, and I've learned so much from you. I think it's just amazing.
Thank you, Robert.
How fortunate am I? I mean, I work with, honestly, 3 of the most amazing women on the planet. Can't be more blessed than that. And of course, 4 amazing women with Sandra. I can't forget her ever.
Yeah.
Look, we got Bill Biss chiming in again. You are tackling a big problem, and kudos to you, Jill.
Hey, Robert, when you say how you work with your host, and I certainly have that opportunity as well. Each and every one of us as executive producers here work with fabulous professionals who are extremely passionate and knowledgeable, but really determined and resolved in that space that you're in. And so I remember one host that I work with, and she said to me, and it was my epiphany, what is it that you love doing? And you lose all track of time when you're doing it. It doesn't feel like it's work. And that is the thing that you should be doing. And I thought, gosh, I that is something that's very powerful. It was a self-discovery for me at that point. For you, Jill, and the challenges that you see and the infractions that's happening on a daily basis. Somebody like yourself who can get in there and shift the mindset of Congress and lawmakers, and so that people can start really honestly looking at our future in a way that it's sustainable, as opposed to, letting all these pollutants and stuff that, we are exposed to, and cancer and all this stuff comes from those things that nobody takes accountability for. And we're trying to scratch in our heads and figure out why we're having cancer or why these things happen. So good for you.
Hey, guess what?
To the work that you do.
There's that ship is stuck in the canal. So all this terrible stuff they're trying to ship us, they can't get through right now.
Yeah.
I don't know. Have you guys seen the meme? It's hilarious. Yeah. It's a giant cargo ship that's huge, and then they have this little itty bitty backhoe that's just like trying to dig it out. It's like a little tiny backhoe compared to this ship. It's hilarious. Anyways, it's clogging up the shipping lanes right now as we speak, and costing companies around the world millions and millions of dollars because they can't deliver their stuff. And guess what? I don't care.
Well, you know what, Ryan? Our Navy is going to save the day. Wouldn't it be a great day for the United States Navy if we didn't have to worry about the Suez Canal? Think about that for a second.
Yeah.
Think about how nice that would be if we didn't have to worry about that.
It is not our job.
Has been for a long time. But you know what we can do? We can get off that fossil fuel stuff they keep bringing through the Suez Canal. And that's one big thing that would have a lot of good upsides, not the least of which is to give the Navy something else to do besides guard that.
Yeah, well, most of the Navy ships all run nuclear power. So, they're not polluting anything. They're just running on nuclear power. There's some cutters and some different
exactly
stuff diesel, but
you know what? They're making sure we've got it to put in our SUVs, though, and that's why they're there. It's not for their ships; it's for our habits. So maybe think EV, folks. Think EVs. That electric vehicles.
Electric. Remember how you used to make them so ugly looking, Jill, and you didn't want one because they looked so bad, and now they look like
now they're
Teslas
hot.
Now.
They're
now you can't afford them.
on the
Right?
road.
Yep, they are.
I got in a car accident in April of 2020, right in the middle of the pandemic, with no one on the road, no cars, no traffic, and I just happened to get hit by like the one guy who's on the road on my way to the office, because I told myself my truck at the time was a 2007. And I was like, it's got low miles, it's got like 90,000 miles on it, which was low for an 07. It ran well, everything was good. And so in my head, I was like, this is the last gas powered vehicle I'm ever going to own. Like I'm going to buy an electric vehicle in 4 or 5 years or something like that, because there's a place in Mesa who makes all wheel drive trucks where they have independent motors for each tire. They have like 550 mile ranges per charge. It'll be able to pull my boat and do all that kind of stuff. Right. And so I was like excited to go buy one of those. And then I got in the accident. But the place in Mesa, they're not ready yet. It's not like it's still in R&D. And so now I'm forced. I had to go buy a new truck. I'm not mad that I bought a new truck, but it is a new truck. It's got all these fancy bells and whistles and buttons and screens and all that fun stuff. But my new truck shuts off when you stop at a gas light.
That's a great place to start. And there's coming out with an EV Hummer, Ryan.
I know. I saw it. I
know you want one. EV Hummer.
Not a Hummer though. I'm a truck guy. I need a bed. I need to be able to go to Home Depot and put stuff in the back without like closing it in or making it dirty. I
feel you. They're coming though. They're coming, buddy. They're coming.
And they're coming fast. That's nice.
And you know what? I'm hoping that when EV vehicles come out, like they'll be at some point kind of like this.
The Teslas,
Well, I'm thinking this transition of like, okay, well, EV is the way to go. Now gasoline engines are kind of obsolete, but they become like a collector's item or something like that. And so
Jay Leno. You can show your cars.
So I can go sell my truck for like $110,000 and then just go buy one of those EV trucks. What a great conversation. I appreciate all of you guys being on. As the vice president of operations of Voice America, I've been at this company for 17 years. I've seen every part of growth of the company, starting when it was Kino Communications, it was SurfNet Media, and the merging of those two entities to become Motivox, which was a publicly traded company. And then in 2010, Jeff Spinard saying, I'm done with the publicly traded stuff and I'm done with board of directors and all that kind of stuff. And he took the radio side, and then, the voiceamerica.com radio side is now controlled by radio people who do radio stuff, who've been in the business for a long time. And it's just been like a great transformation. And then working with all of you has been absolutely amazing. And I just want to say that I absolutely love working with every single one of you, hosts and producers alike. All of you guys are my world. You guys are what I think about when I wake up in the morning. You guys are what I think about when I go to bed. And I'm not trying to be cheesy about that, but that is literally how I feel about working with each and every one of you guys. You are amazing. And Jody, yes, Teslas are fast. I
test drove one.
I completely agree, but my motorcycle will tear that thing a new one.
I'm sure. Yeah, I test drove one. I wasn't sure. I'm still deciding.
Did you put it on ludicrous mode?
I did not. I'm a scaredy cat. I told you that. I'm a scaredy cat. Like, I'm afraid. Like, I'm afraid of speed. I'm afraid of everything.
I would have jumped in the car and put it on ludicrous mode, like right from the get-go.
Yeah, I don't
my
blame you, Jody.
yeah, he said, Jody, like, we got on the highway. He's like, Jody, got it. I'm like, I'm like, he's like, you're not getting it, but that thing is fast. Let me tell you guys.
Wow, nice.
All right. Well, I want to bring on our next host, Dr. Kathy Greenberg. She coaches leading executives and entire companies using her proven happiness equals profit business strategies for life. Dr. Greenberg, she's a certified executive personal coach, leadership expert, and executive in her own right, formerly at two of the world's leading consultancies. She co-founded H2C, and she is dope. That's all I got to say. Super awesome human being. She co-hosts the show with Relly Nadler, who's also an awesome human being. He can't be on though because it's Women's History Month, so it's all about Kathy. Kathy, welcome to the show.
Thank you. I am probably like the poster child for Voice America. I think I'm one of the longest running hosts that you have. Right? We're going into our 15th year together.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
You are one of the longest, yes. But I have to tell you, we have one host on the network, and she does Waking Up in America on the Variety Channel, and she has been on since 1999. She's never left. She's been
She just beat me by a few years. But I say to Relly all the time, and I'm sure that Jody and Marla and Jill are going to get a kick out of this because I have my story too. Relly's been with me longer than any other man in my life. And I tell his wife, Julie, all the time, I'm like, Julie, thank you. Thank you for loaning me your husband for 15 years. Yeah, he's celebrating his birthday this week. So even if he could be with us, he would definitely have to decline because he is out partying and having a great weekend.
As he should.
Yes, yes. So, yeah, thank you. I mean, we started out as in the happiness business with you originally, and then we quickly went into the fearless business. So I went from ABC's First Lady of Happiness to ABC's First Lady of Courage. And then after the Fearless book, we published Emotional Brilliance, which just came out this June during COVID to help people. And I have to say, it's been nonstop. We have the new platform, the Emotional Brilliance Academy. It's on a really exciting new e-learning platform, and we've just got a bunch of AI technology added to it. Jill, I've been with the military now, dedicated to special operations and special forces for about 14 years. My intended is with Navy Special Warfare. Hopefully he is going to be going to be retiring soon. It's just such a joy to be here with all of you. And Jody, I just love you. I think you're so inspiring. And Marla, I love the spiritual aspect of our work. Without our souls being intact, we can't do the work that we do. And like many of you, I came from a bad marriage. In fact, I was making so much money, I had to pay my ex money, and I had a child from a previous marriage, and the courts didn't care. The court said, you make more money, he makes less money, and you're going to pay him half of everything you have. And, I said, okay, that's the way this is going to roll. And it's hard. Sometimes you just have to swallow hard and move on. And so my whole thing about being, fearless, stressless, happy, every day, healthy, eating well, exercise, doing all the good stuff that makes us who we are is so important. And so even though we have a leadership business talk show, we focus on, that whole emotional intelligence, like what triggers you? How do you stop it from triggering you? Working with military and law enforcement, we are really helping save lives every day. I'm going to a big event this weekend where we are memorializing the lives of fallen officers and their families, so the work is heartfelt, and we do it every day with nothing but love and compassion. So I'm really honored to be here. Sandra, how I feel about the Voice America family. And Jeff, by the way, Gerstle just put out an amazing couple of commercials for us, which I can't wait to hear next week. So thank you.
Well, Kathy, thank you. And when we were talking about this panel and inviting our female host, I thought of you because you and I have had some, as of late, we've sort of been communicating back and forth, and you've expressed what you want to accomplish more out of your show, how it's progressed and how it's growing. And I do want you to talk more about your program, the artificial intelligence program that you are, institutions are using this program and its success. But you also have a male co-host, Kathy Greenberg. You're a doctor, educated yourself, and you've gone through, I'm sure, a journey in your life where you've stepped into your truth and your light. And, at the same time, we know it's a man's world. James Brown had the song, and kind of thing. So you have to step in that light and be who you are, and claim that, right, Kathy? And certainly, it's evident to me that you have done that. Tell me what it takes for somebody like you to stay in this space. And this is for all the young ladies out here, as well as older ones. But what does it take for somebody like you to stay in your space and keep your truth in that space? Because you have gone through some experiences that somebody else would have said, I'm out. This is it. But you haven't done that. So what has been your resolve?
I think, to Jody's point, you really have to come from inside yourself and know who you are. And people always say, how do you stay happy? How do you stay so strong? Well, I've had all kinds of cancer. In fact, you can see I have a scar over here right now. That's the most recent one that I had a couple months ago. I'm forever having things extracted. I am one of those people that just says no to health issues, money issues, man issues. I love what I do. And I will tell you, ladies and gentlemen, for years, I published over 12 books in my lifetime. And until the last 5, my name was always behind somebody else.
Yeah.
And so finally, one of my male mentors, a wonderful guy by the name of Warren Bennis, historic in the leadership community, said, why are you doing that? Why are you putting your name behind all these men? You're like the kingmaker, and that's wonderful. But when do you want to stand out and be who you are? And I finally said, okay, all right, I'll do that. And so when I did that, the whole sisterhood came with me. And I have more children, I think, than anybody on the earth. I really do.
Right on, Kathy.
You don't become like a mentee. You become my child. And so I don't care whether you're male or female, you need something, I'm here. I've got guys all over the world, Northern Africa, Iraq, places we don't even want to know what's going on, right?
Right.
Say, hey, proof of life, I'm here,
Oh, right on.
So I do this with men and women all over the world. It's just who I am. I always will. And for me, it's standing in my own passion for humankind and not letting it absorb me. But I'll tell you the one thing, Sandra, that scares me is sometimes, and all you women who are listening, Marla is going to take a big breath right now. You cannot give away who you are, right? And I always tell people, nobody takes your control without
you give it away. Yeah, you give it away. Yeah.
So you have to recognize where you stand in yourself, how powerful you really are, and how true you can stay to who you are. And, everybody always worries about me because I'm, always in this state of being fragile. And I'm like, no, don't worry about it. I'm fine. If I couldn't commit to being there, I wouldn't commit to being there. And Bill's point, I've worked at the Pentagon for years. I mean, I have more flag officers on a Rolodex. I mean, I have 3 4-star generals on my board. I'm just very blessed to be surrounded by powerful people who give me great energy. Sandra, you've been amazing. And, Ryan has helped a great deal, always asking questions. So it's just an amazing family here, and I'm really blessed.
Well, here's what I want to tell you, Kathy, that I don't know if you're having some health issues or whatever you're saying, people worry about you because you are in a state of being fragile. There's nothing about what you're showing me that is evidence of that. Right. So when I see you right now, you're a powerful, strong, independent, committed, passionate woman, who is letting us know what you do and how you do it and why you do it. And so right on for that. Right on for that.
Thank you.
Right. Dr. Greenberg, it is so nice to meet you. We've never had a chance to say hello. So hello. And thank you for sharing those pieces and the resiliency, the things that you do. Resiliency is so key right now, especially in this space that we're in the world. Yeah. And you stepped into that so eloquently. So thank you. I get to be inspired today one more time. So thank you for that.
Hey, Kathy, talk about Leadership Development News, that program. What is the essence of the show? What do you and Relly do? What do you accomplish on the show? Who do you work with? Tell us a little bit about that.
Yeah, Leadership Development News was a brainchild originally of Relly's, and it was called Profiles and Practices of Top Performers. That was the original name of the show. And so when Relly and I decided to go together on this, we changed it to LDN. And we have had I think at this point, well over 550 thought leaders, almost on every subject. We've had literally like directors of the UN to I'm a #2 New York Times bestselling author and a #1 Wall Street Journal bestselling author, but we have like the ones across the board in every theater you can imagine. So whether it's technology, sports, nation states, people, like we just had one of the biggest conductors in the world, Roger Nuremberg, on. We just want to talk to people about what makes them successful.
Okay.
What is it that leaders do that put themselves in a role that allows them to show the world who they really are and bring people with them so that everybody in the team, not just them, becomes successful. We just had JP Clement on the show. We have CEOs of the biggest companies, and we are just so excited. People come to us. It used to be, we'd call people and, hey, do you want to be on the show? It's like my inbox is constantly filled. Wow. It's like, and I run 4 companies because we have Fearless Leaders Group for the military, Emotional Brilliance Academy, which is for everybody. We have the True North Leadership, which is Relly's coaching company, and now we have Voice America. So this is like my little part-time thing that I love to do, and now it takes up 99.9%, and then 99% of my show.
Kathy, one thing that you said that I thought was absolutely amazing, and a lot of people I don't think grasp the idea of this, and something that you guys teach is one, and it's kind of a newer term, but it's called servant leadership, right? I just read a book by Omar L. Harris called Servant Leadership, and for me as an executive at Voice America, it really opened my eyes to, the way that companies over the last, 70 years have been ran with like much more masculine energy versus feminine energy. And I'm not saying man versus woman, right? I'm talking about just the approach in how you deal with individuals. And, it's one thing to like stand at the top of the tower, and point down at everybody and say, you go do this and you go do that. It's another thing if you're a servant leadership and you're serving the employees that are below you, you're serving the company, you're serving yourself, right? All simultaneously and leading by example. Because that's some of the stuff that I think now is kind of lost in society with the way that leadership roles are provided or delved out to certain individuals. They're given to individuals based on certain, milestones that they may have hit, but nobody takes into account how they're actually going to lead or be a servant leadership in the space and how they're going to lead by example. I'll give you an example. For me, I would never ask any one of my audio engineers or host services people or anything to do something that I would not do myself. And I think a lot of times people kind of lose that idea when they're in a leadership role because they they're like, I'm up here and you're down here. Right. So you got to go do this, this, and this. And it's like, no. If people would start serving and doing leadership from the bottom up instead of the top down, things would be so much different and so better for society. Companies would make more money. Customer service would be better. Like, you know.
No, I get it. I get it. I just want to say a shout out to Aaron because he is one of the best I love him. It's so nice to have an engineer.
Hey, this is Aaron right here. This is Aaron commented a couple minutes ago.
Scott, it's like, hey, you know, he's like, let's do this. And he's like, great show. And he's just like, oh my God, I just want to hug him and kiss him. So do that for me. But I just wanted to tell Ryan on that. So
I can't do that for you. I'm sorry, Kathy.
Oh, well, you know, do your best. So I was fortunate to go to the
high five.
Mother Teresa a couple of years ago with Father Michael Mannion, and he is the chaplain for the FBI law enforcement where I do a lot of work. And it's amazing to me when you go through that spiritual journey through the Vatican, through this transformation of someone becoming a saint and knowing her. He worked with her for over 28 years. And it was interesting because I was interviewed by Vatican News and Shalom Network. And, you know, it was all because I was Father Mike, because Father Mike had worked with Mother Teresa. So I have to say a good part of who I have become and who I have, you know, spiritually tied myself to is a man who has lived that his whole life. And he teaches that to everyone who touches him. So I'm just been, like I said, I'm a very fortunate woman. I am blessed by a lot of people, both military, law enforcement, ministries, and wonderful women like you. My God, I love Jody and Marla and Jill. I feel like if the four of us, you know, were let loose with Sandra, you know,
we should
just take over
Right
and
on.
just burst open.
You know, Kathy, this is what's happened here. This synergy and energy and frequency in what each and every one of you do. All of us here. Ryan, director of broadcast operations, and how he works from the inside out to bring great radio programs to life. And Robert, who nurtures and works with all of the hosts that he works with, and many of us work with hosts as well, but we cherish and we love the spirit of the professionals that have decided this. You said, look, I have a life outside of this radio show, but this radio show is part of my life, right? So you're taking some time out of this day that you have filled with stuff, and you host a radio show because you're passionate enough to want to share your truth and your knowledge and your spirit with the world, right?
And all of you guys came on with us on a Friday.
And so on
the East Coast, and you still took time to hang out with us.
And this synergy that's happening because of that is magnetic. And it happened last week as well when we had Joyce and Patricia and Christina on. These hosts got to see who they are. And this is a wonderful forum for that, Ryan. We've not had anything like this before.
Nope.
You know, we've met our hosts. Some of you travel into the network and we meet you personally, and that's been beautiful. But with COVID, none of that's happened at all. So now this forum is here, Ryan. It's a beautiful one because you get to unite, get to see and feel that synergy that permeates throughout the network.
We're the Brady bunch of awesomeness.
Yeah.
Right?
I love how it connects everybody here to each other.
Yes,
It's a synergistic piece.
You know, Aaron's commented a couple of times on the stream. He said, 4 amazing hosts, love them all. And also, thank you so much, Kathy. And so
I think Randall did comment as well, because Randall said thank you for introducing someone else. He calls it the power panel.
Yeah.
Randall's one of our executive producers as well.
And he's been here almost as long as I have. He's just a great guy. You know, and as we wrap up the show here on Fireside, I want to just kind of roundtable it and allow you guys just an opportunity to kind of promote your show, let everybody know like the time and date and stuff that's on. I could do that for you, but I think it would be better coming from you all because you guys are way cooler than me. So, Jody Harrison Bauer, tell everybody about your show, when they can listen to you, all that fun stuff.
Yes, the name of my show is Fearlessly Authentic, and it airs on Thursdays at 12 p.m. Pacific, 3 p.m. on the East Coast where I am. Mm-hmm. And it is about educating, empowering, and inspiring others to live a fearlessly authentic life. So I speak to all walks of life about how we can inspire others with education and empowering them as well, men and women. And I am honored to have every guest on my show, and I'm honored to be part of the Voice America family and to be on this panel with these amazing, smart, vibrant women. And thank you very much. Yes, thank you.
Right on, right on.
Kathy Greenberg, let us know about your show when it's on. Oh, excuse me. Let me back up. Dr. Kathy Greenberg. I don't want to. You have the formalities correct.
Cat, C-A-T, cat. It's Monday. We do it 9 a.m. Pacific, which is noon Eastern Standard Time. Jody, I'm on the East Coast too.
Okay, great.
We would love to have all you on our show. So please, let's hook up and get you there. And we love all of our guests, and we thank all of you for being with us for all these years. So 9 a.m. Pacific, 12 noon Eastern, and I can't wait to hear Aaron's voice. So Aaron, have a great
Aaron,
all right. Go Green Radio. Jill Buck. Aaron just said, if only everyone knew how much fun we had behind the scenes.
So true.
You know,
it's scandalous. It's absolutely scandalous.
Your show's in the morning for us. So like when I come into the studio in the morning, right? A lot of times Aaron is the only one in the studio, okay? Because he comes in at like 5 o'clock in the morning.
Some ungodly hour in the morning.
In the morning Pacific time. And then I got to take my daughter to school, so I usually get here like around 8 o'clock in the morning, right? And he's in there like, we have a strobe light. I gave him one of those Hue lights, you know, like you control the remote, and he's in there playing Metallica, rocking out, and listening to all kinds of dance music or whatever, like 7 o'clock in the morning. And
I can imagine.
That's the reason why you guys end up with such a vibrant Aaron, just because Aaron
he's a wild man. He just is.
He's not really wild. He's wildly awesome.
He is amazing. Well, and here's the thing. I mean, I'll be talking about the most serious topics, and then he sends me a photo of his Halloween costume. Which I won't mention what he did.
What is that costume? Isn't he Barney or something? What is that costume that he wears to
Mario? Yeah. Super Mario.
Super Mario. That's what it is. Barney. Okay. Super Mario.
No, I love Aaron. He makes my day.
I got to take credit. I took that photo.
Well, it was perfectly done.
It was fantastic.
Oh, he's the best. No, and I love the whole Voice America family. You guys have given us such a wonderful platform, such a professional platform to get our messages out and to share our message with the world. I'm Go Green Radio. We're on the Variety Channel. Very proud to be on the Variety Channel at 9 o'clock Pacific time on Friday mornings. And I just am so thankful for this opportunity and all you awesome ladies. What up? I am so honored and so thankful to everyone at Voice America for giving Go Green Radio a home.
Go Green Radio. Absolutely.
We're so happy to have you on board as well. I listen to a lot of shows as the VP of broadcast operations. Like the majority of my drive time going to and from the studio is listening to your guys' programs. And I'm always asking the audio engineers, because I'm a sound quality like nut. So I'm like, I need a list of every host that doesn't have good sound quality so I can call those microphones and we can help them. No, you got to get off the phone, Kathy.
Kathy, you're still on the phone.
You'll be happy to know I just found a podcast studio right near my yacht. So now I have a place to go. But
hold on a minute.
You got to make some concessions.
Kathy, I'm going to throw this out there, because you don't need another podcast studio. We can put one together that's on the yacht. All right, let's be, I'm not
giving up one of my 5 bedrooms. Never. It's not happening.
I'm pretty sure that you have a little desk area somewhere.
I do.
All right, well, just get a hold of me offline and we'll get that fixed up.
I have enough bedrooms for everybody here, so just come on down.
You don't need to pay for a podcast studio. What you need to do is set an appointment with me, and we will get you all hooked up, and we'll move on.
Get off the phone, Kathy.
Yeah, as long as your yacht's got some good internet, we're good to go. Hey, Marla,
Okay.
Marla Goldberg,
Come on, Kathy.
Marla,
Right.
you know, it's been such a pleasure to work with you, Marla. You and I have
you.
talked like 1,000 times.
Yes.
I'm happy to talk with you 1,000 more times.
Oh, thanks, Brian.
The same goes with everybody else on this panel, including Sandra and Robert. You guys are all amazing human beings. Marla, let people know about your show on the Empowerment Channel.
Okay, so Guided Spirit Conversation is an interview show where I bring on healers, metaphysicians, spiritual leaders from across the globe. And my show is twofold. I want to have the listeners receive tips, tools, techniques that they can easily incorporate into their life. And so the guests to offer that to them. And I also want to give the listeners a variety of modalities out there because there are so many modalities that people can choose from to help them shift, tweak, or enhance their life's circumstances. And for the guests, I want to spotlight all that they do because they're so phenomenal. And I search high and low for my guests. Yeah. So I find guests that are really stellar in what they do and how they help people. And so together we're a team and we, share information and help bring something to the audience that they can use on a daily basis. And you can find it on Thursdays, noon Eastern time, also on the East Coast, ladies, and 9 a.m. Pacific time. And I just love being with Voice America. They make the show so easy.
Aww.
Well,
thank you.
A little one.
Who's that little one, Kathy?
This is my granddaughter, Olivia. Say hi.
Hi, beautiful. Hi, Olivia.
Can't forget me for dinner.
Olivia, I'm gonna have to bring Marley to the yacht. So
Yeah.
Women.
Everybody, come on down.
Come on down.
We'll have a blast.
What an awesome way to end Women's History Month. What did she say, Kathy?
She thinks Jody looks like her mom.
Oh, wow.
Thank you.
Right on.
What's your mom?
That's my daughter. Yes, definitely.
Well, thank you, Olivia.
Yeah, this is such a great thing that we've got going on here with these fireside chats.
Olivia, what's our page?
Okay, go tell.
She's like, let's go eat, Nani. She's ready to eat dinner.
Take me to the yacht. I want to go swimming. And I just want to thank all of you guys. Sandra Rogers, Network Director of Voice America. You're part of the glue that holds this company together. You're part of the glue that keeps our management infrastructure in place. Robert Cellino, you manage all things advertising, you manage all of these fantastic hosts. And I have much love for both of you guys. Robert, you're my road dog. Love traveling with you and doing all the things that we do. Jody, Harrison, Bauer, your fitness videos on TikTok and the way that you kind of put yourself out there in a manner. I just absolutely love it. If we ever get together at some point, I'll go work out with you. We'll do push-ups and whatever you want to do. I'm totally down. We can run up as many stairs as you want.
Very cool. Yes.
Kathy, all the different things that you and Relly have going on with your different programs, your websites, all the leadership stuff that you're doing is absolutely amazing. Jill, I can't say enough about the things that you're doing with helping the environment and making sure that people have awareness and understanding of what's going on. And Marla, coming from the spiritual area, it's just like, I feel like this panel of human beings that we have on today was a 360-degree variant of what people really need to focus on and pay attention to in their life, because you have Jody with your fitness and your mental, and Kathy with your leadership, and Jill with your conservation, and Marla with your spirituality, and Sandra and Robert with your utmost professionalism in what you do. And I just want to say thank you on behalf of Jeff Spinard, myself, and the Voice America Talk Radio Network for being on our fireside chat. All of you guys are absolutely amazing human beings, and I'm going to give everyone a round of applause.
Go ahead, say it.
All right.
Thank you, Ryan.
Thank you. Thank you so
Giving it
much.
back at you.
What I want to do is I want everybody to wave goodbye to the audience. And let's say, have a good weekend, everybody.
Have a good weekend, everybody. Right on.